my name is Margaret Adele, and welcome to the April channel update. Yes, I sound like this. I was trying to wait until I got past this head cold, but I think we're in it, and I didn't want to push this off that long. So how did my April go? Like every month before, it's a mixed bag, but it's a mixed bag in a different way than all the other months this year were a mixed bag. And that is, things personally in my life have actually gone pretty well, and it was my reading that sucked. So, reversal in health means I obviously currently have a head cold, but the actual med situation is going pretty well. I enlisted the help of my coworkers to help me to remember to take the morning dose of my meds, and remembering to take that kind of lessens the symptoms of them, which is very nice. And I also found out that I am losing weight because of them, and because my syndrome affects the metabolism, I'm hoping that means that they're working. But it's kind of hard to tell. And in general, I was feeling a lot more optimistic about work as the month went on. And again, it's one of those things where it's hard to nail down why, because basically the job hasn't changed. The kids are still the same. Maybe some minor improvements, but behavior improvements are slow to come. So it's not like one day is significantly different than the one before it. I just felt a lot better and a lot more optimistic about work. And I think I was also sleeping better for a lot of that optimistic time. And the testing, standardized tests went better. Even the ones that I had to proctor didn't go too badly. So overall, I kind of had this, okay, I can do this vibe moving forward. Even when there were some changes and some awkward meetings, I still had this, okay, we can make it work kind of vibes. And I'm hoping that'll carry through. We are in the last full month. We are out very early June, so May is the last full month we have of school. And at the end of the month, we have the big end of year party for our program. And that is something that the kids have to earn with their behavior. So my inner optimist is telling me that hopefully the idea of this giant fun thing at the end of the month will help convince a lot of the kids to improve their behavior, if for no other reason than just to earn points to earn that. But in general, I felt a lot better about that as a whole, which was also probably part of the reason my reading sucked, because on top of the work stuff, I had a TikTok blow up, and my channel got I think 1,000 new subscribers. It turns out I'm way better at TikTok than YouTube. Well, specifically D&D TikTok. I'm way better at D&D TikTok than BookTube, turns out. So I'll have that linked if you're interested. But so I had a bunch of fun with that, and because of that, we got a lot more newbies on the Discord server where I play Dungeons and Dragons. So I was invested in that. So I had a lot of fun things going on, and that's probably part of the reason why my reading dropped off so much, was because I genuinely was enjoying these other things at home after work, and I genuinely had something else refilling the well that I didn't need to read a lot. But I was in a full reading slump at one point. I only read one full review book over the month at the very beginning, and it was great. I loved it. It was a 5-star. It had a giant dramatic ending, and it was one of those, screaming at the author in all caps on Twitter kind of endings. I loved it. And then I started another review book, and it had this giant, big, angsty twist, and then I stopped. I'm like, I can't continue. I have to stop here. I'm hoping to finish that in May, but part of it, I think, was because things were going so well everywhere else, I didn't want to risk any big emotional stuff with books. I was nervous to affect it, and I just kind of wanted to enjoy the chill vibes, which turned into me turning away from all the dramatic books that I probably would have given 5 stars to, and relying more and more on romances that I was only kind of meh about. And at one point, I actually considered deleting my entire TBR because I was getting so sick of it and just not wanting to read. And thankfully, I found a different thing to do instead. which was to wander a library like a toddler. And if you would like more in-depth discussion on where that came from and why that helped my reading slump, I will have that linked down in the description below. But I decided to try, just for the sake of structuring my reading in May, kind of putting the onus of deciding what kinds of books to read on someone else. I'm going to do or attempt a readathon, a month-long readathon, and I think it only has about like 8 prompts for Minecraft. It's Minecraft based. I will have the original video for that if you want to do a Minecraft readathon with me down in the description as well. But it's very simplistic prompts. I could fit a couple of review books on there. Will it actually work? I don't know. But I'm also back on the TBR challenge that I kind of fell off over the month of April, getting all the library books and buying a bunch of books in a vain attempt to stop the reading slump, which I still skipped like 5 days of reading in April, which was a lot for me. If it hadn't been for those couple of Regency romances that I read near the end of the month, I would have only read 6 books, and it would have been my all-time lowest amount of books read in a month, which granted, even that still would have been more than the original number of books I set for myself every month when I started my channel. Because when I started, I said that I was going to read 4 books a month, 1 book a week, so that I would at least have 1 book to talk about in a video a week. And that is laughably low looking back when I can get up as high as 16 books a month in a good month. But the Regency romances saved it as usual. They always do. Adele Cleese is one of my go-to, I just need to read something authors. And I'm still feeling hopeful moving forward into May. And in general, I'm very nervous about pushing myself. So like, even though I am feeling a lot more hopeful and optimistic about things, like we're not open to fostering yet, probably won't be until summer. And then there's other various health stuff that I've only alluded to vaguely on here that are still up in the air. But that's been up in the air for years. So the fact that it still isn't anything. And finances and things have done really well lately. So in general, my personal life has actually gone pretty well. There is some news that I can't tell you about yet because it involves like contracts and stuff. And it's a really big step for me, and I'm really excited for it, which is probably also a lot to do with how excited I am and how optimistic I am. But 2022 might actually have some big news for me in a good way. But I will let you know more about that when things have moved forward a little bit more. But in general, I'm going to get back on track in May. And despite everything, I am happy that this month's update is slightly better than the last 3 months have been. I am feeling a bit more on top of my game. So I've got that going for me. And thank you for sticking with me through all the weird mixed bags that this year is. And with nothing else to say, I hope you have a wonderful day and a marvelous tomorrow.